This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 260. Want to find your life passion? Start by simplifying your life, part 2, by Barrie Davenport with becomingminimalist.com.
Get ready to maximize your potential with Optimal Living Daily, the podcast that brings you the best in personal development and productivity every day of the week. Your optimal life awaits. Now here's your host, Justin Malik.
Hey, welcome to Optimal Living Daily, and I'm Justin Malik. This is the podcast where I read to you from amazing bloggers like The Minimalists, Ramit Sethi, Leo Babauta of Zen Habits, Steve Pavlina, and Derek Sivers on topics like personal development, productivity, minimalism, happiness, and more. And today's a part 2 from yesterday. I started reading a guest post on Joshua Becker's site, Becoming Minimalist, but it's a little long, and I try to keep these episodes under 10 minutes, so I broke it up, and I'm wrapping it up today. So if you didn't hear yesterday's episode 259, you'll probably want to hear that first. And with that, let's hear the rest of this post and start optimizing your life. Want to find your life passion? Start by simplifying your life. Part 2, by Barrie Davenport with becomingminimalist.com. Adrenaline lifestyle. We've been conditioned to believe that the more we schedule our lives, the more we can multitask. The longer and harder we work, the more valuable we are to society. Perhaps we are more valuable to those we accommodate with our adrenaline-fueled lifestyles, but we are diminishing ourselves in the process. Aside from the obvious health consequences of living this way, stress, exhaustion, etc., an adrenaline-fueled life leaves no room for self-reflection, creative experimentation, or clear decision-making required for finding a life passion. We are stuck on a treadmill of tasks, commitments, and useless time fillers because we haven't allowed ourselves the space to know what our deepest desires might be. It is hard to detach from this lifestyle, to cut back to the essentials to give yourself space. We often feel guilty that we are letting others down or worry that we might be perceived as lazy and non-productive. But the purpose of life isn't to produce, it's to live fully and joyfully. We aren't here to accommodate other people's hopes and dreams. We are meant to fulfill our own. And by living your passion, you are serving the world in a far more profound way than by checking off items on a to-do list. So how can you detach and simplify your lifestyle? You can begin by giving yourself 1 hour a week to devote to the act of simplifying. Start by looking at everything that takes your time during your waking hours to assess the most obvious places you can cut back. Begin with the easiest changes first so that you can become accustomed to saying no to yourself and others. Train yourself to embrace free time to use for introspection and creative thought. Part of the process of simplifying your life is determining your life priorities. You may have many interests and many seeming obligations, but it's impossible to pursue all of them with any depth and enjoyment. Pick your top 5 and focus intently on those. Allow yourself to be deeply engaged in the task at hand without worrying about the next item on the list. Becoming deeply engaged puts you in that state of flow that is immensely peaceful and satisfying. By simplifying your lifestyle, you will create some of the necessary emotional healing mentioned yesterday. Physical clutter. You might wonder why physical clutter and the accumulation of material things might impact your ability to find and live your life passion, but it has a huge impact. As part of our adrenaline-fueled lives, we've been led to believe that the accumulation of stuff is a worthy goal. More outward symbols of success reveals to the world that we are worthy and important. But as you probably learned, material things require time and energy. A big home is expensive and needs to be cleaned and maintained. A fancy car requires money, maintenance, and fosters the subtle anxiety that it might get scratched or stolen. More gadgets, iPads, computers, televisions, and other electronics pulls us away from real interactions with family and friends. We hold on to stuff and have closets filled with clothes we don't wear, papers scattered on our desks, books and magazines we are done with, other things we hang on just in case we might need it someday. But all of this stuff creates mental agitation and distraction. It's like a scratchy sweater that's subtly irritating, but we don't think it's worth doing something about. An abundance of things and unnecessary physical clutter drains us of energy we could put toward living a creative, passionate life. Instead of constantly reorganizing things, cleaning, repairing, and getting absorbed by electronic images, we could be experiencing and creating something that is deeply fulfilling, fun, and important. You can reclaim that energy by clearing the physical clutter, throwing away and giving away things you no longer use or that are distractions for you. As you open up this physical space, you will also reclaim time to pursue your passion, a far more valuable way to spend your precious hours. As you simplify your life by cleaning up your emotions, lifestyle, and physical space, you will find that life in general is less of a struggle. You will give yourself breathing room for self-discovery, exploration, and creative ideas. And these create the fertile ground for finding and living your life passion. You just listened to part 2 of the post titled, Want to Find Your Life Passion? Start by Simplifying Your Life by Barrie Davenport with BecomingMinimalist.com. I really want to do a packing party like Ryan Nicodemus of the Minimalists, or do a big decluttering process. I'm just full of excuses with the podcast and the work that goes in, but I know I'll do it eventually. Luckily, I don't have a ton of stuff. If you enjoyed this post and yesterday, since it's a 2-parter, let me know. I could potentially reach out to Barrie Davenport to read more material here on the show, or if you have any other authors that you'd love to hear on this podcast, let me know. Come by oldpodcast.com and simply get in touch with me, and I'll do the work to see if I can get permission from the author. All right, I think that does it. Have a happy Saturday and a great weekend. I'll be back tomorrow with, I have no clue. I guess we'll have to see. So I will see you there where your optimal life awaits.
Hey, this is Dan from the Optimal Finance Daily podcast, which is a lot like this show, except more focused on personal finance. Justin handpicks the best posts he can find from blogs and authors like Ramit Sethi, Mr. Money Mustache, and more, and I read them to you 5 days a week. So if you enjoy this podcast, come on over and subscribe to Optimal Finance Daily too. And together, we'll optimize your financial life.
You've been listening to Optimal Living Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode, and head to oldpodcast.com. That's OLDpodcast.com for a free gift, as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.